Hello, mathematical literacy learners. I'm going to try and do this question again, which says calculate that amount or this amount, which is called the tax threshold, right? The maximum amount a person can earn without paying tax. The maximum amount a person can earn without paying tax who is under the age of 65 years old is 91,250 rand. So we're going to try and find this number. Yes, it's given to us, but if the question says let's calculate, then we will calculate it. Okay, so before we go on, let's not confuse this question with a question that says, prove that a person earning this amount of money does not pay tax. When they say prove that a person earning this amount of money does not pay tax, you go and you calculate tax. The answer will tell you whether the person earns tax or not. Okay, so we're going to start with prove and then, okay. So prove, if we are to prove that a person earning 91,250 rand and is under the age of 65, obviously, as this is the tax threshold. This is actually the tax threshold. But this is also the maximum income a person can earn. They can earn 90,000 rand and not pay tax because they're under the 65, but also it's the maximum income, this one here. Once you earn more than this, you'll have to start paying tax. So 60 and prove that 91,250 rand as an income for a person under the 65 will not be taxed, right? So this is also a taxable income. So the amounts that you see here are actually taxable income. They're ready to be taxed. Okay, so since this is a taxable income, we can take it to the tax table and calculate tax, and then the answer will tell us if this person doesn't pay a tax. It does not qualify to pay tax. Right. So how do you prove that a person earning this amount of money does not pay tax? You go to there and you say, first I want to see how much is this tax. Okay, so that is 91,250 rand times 18%. Why 18%? 91,000 is in the first tax bracket. Okay, and the answer there is 16,425 rands. Okay, so we're not done. This is the amount that should be paid, would have been paid, supposed to be paid, but SARS has this thing where they say if you pay, supposed to pay for 16,425, from that we will subtract the rebates. Because what are rebates? Rebates are like discounts, yes? They discount they actually lower the amount of tax that you're supposed to pay. So this person's tax would be lowered by 16,425. And the answer will be 0. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much today. My mouth is all over the place. Okay. So this is proving that the person doesn't pay tax, and we agree, right? So I guess if they were you're supposed to say, is it valid or not valid? I don't know if the statement is true or whatever and all that stuff, because you've shown that the person doesn't pay tax. Now, not to be confused with the question that says find the tax threshold, what is the maximum amount of money, calculate the maximum amount of money a person can earn without paying tax. Now, that is saying come up with the tax threshold, right? I don't know if they actually remove it when they say calculate it, but that's just they find this money. So if they say what is the maximum amount of money a person can earn without paying tax, 2 marks, what do? You come here. If you look at the age, and if they said 25, 58, for example, if this person who's 58 here in this question actually earned 91,250, they wouldn't pay tax, right? So that would be the maximum amount of money a person can earn who's under the age of 65, is 91,250. If they end that, they're under the age of 65, they will not pay tax. So that the answer would be 91,250. You wouldn't have to calculate it. But what if they say calculate 4 marks, 6 marks, whatsoever, right? Okay, now we're dealing with a completely different question. And that question is, so now we're going to find the tax threshold by calculation, right? So we have to know the age of the person when we are finding the tax threshold. So we're going to start with the person who is under the 65. So this person is under the age of 65. So if this person is under the 65, then they fall in that first row over there. A person who's under 65, their rebate is 16,425 and their tax threshold is 91,250. So I want to use this example because the tax threshold is right there in front of us. I want us to see it clearly that this is what we're going to get. Okay, so what do? You say 16,425, which is the rebate. And then you say, when I'm calculating the tax for this person, I multiply and I get the rebates. That's why when I minus, I get 0. So this time, when I have rebates, from these amounts to get these amounts, I must multiply. I must divide, sorry. From these amounts to these amounts, I must divide. And from these amounts to these amounts, I must multiply. So if I'm trying to find the tax threshold using the rebates, what do? I have to divide, right? So I have to divide when I'm trying to use the rebate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this by 18%. I'm going to divide this amount. So if I divide, so the answer is 91,250, but I'm going to do something here on the side to make sure that I'm not leaving anyone behind, right? So the point here is to be able to think, apply, and your knowledge and get to the correct answer as much as possible, right? It's not about who does it fancier. It's not about who does it faster. It's not about who does it with less steps. I'm not concerned with that. Okay, so what I did here when I was dividing, I said percentage. In maths literacy grade 10, we say percentage can be written as a fraction, and therefore 18% is 18 over 100, right? And then we say fraction can be written as a decimal. So I go to my calculator. My calculator says 18 divided by 100. It will say 0.18. And therefore that means I divide this amount of money by 0.18. Same, this is the same value as this is the same value as this. And then you will get this answer. So I like to divide with this in the end and just get this answer. Okay, so this is how you get your tax threshold. Now, this is for the first part where a person is under 65. What happens if they ask for somebody who's 72 or 79? What happens then? So we're going to do the next two. Okay, so for somebody who is from 65 to 74, so that would be age 65 to below 75, right? So for this person, we have to go and find their rebates, right? What are the rebates for this person? Now remember, the rebates here, there's not one but two. There's this amount here that is for everyone, the primary rebates, right? And then there is a 9,000 Rand, which is for the people who are actually at this age. So both of these amounts will be subtracted from their tax, right? Okay, so let's first go and calculate if this person does and prove this amount. Let's prove that a person earning 141,250 Rand and is from 65 to 74 does not pay tax. Remember, we said we prove or we find the tax threshold. Okay, so proving. Let's first prove that this person does not pay tax. This person who is somewhere between 65 and 74 years old, is earning, we're told here the maximum amount here is 141,250 rands. Okay, let's go and calculate. Where in the tax threshold taxable income does this person fall? And that's tax bracket number 1. So we're going to calculate tax there. I love tax bracket number 1. All you have to do is say 141,250 times 18%, and then that person will actually okay, so I want to do this step by step. You get 25,425, and then you come here and you say, what is the rebates for everybody? And that is 16,425 with discount. Then we say, wait a minute, this person has been paying, is old. So we go and say, okay, let's look at their age group. They 9,000. Okay, let's also discount them 9,000. Now I want us to take a step by step. If you say 25,425 and you minus 16,425, which is the tax rebate for everybody, you actually get 9,000. So this person would be left with 9,000. But then we also minusing the 9,000, and the answer becomes 0, right? So what we did was we minus this rebates, and then we minus the 9,000, and then we got 0. And then this statement is valid. This person this amount is correct, or we've proven that this amount does not pay tax, is not charged tax on this income. Okay. Forgot how exhausting this thing is. Okay. Next up, we are going to now do the tax threshold. Now, I want to do the tax threshold while this calculation is here. So let's find the tax threshold. I know the tax threshold is right there, but we're going to try and find it by calculation. Now, in order to find the tax threshold for these people, this age group here, we have to first know what are the rebates. Now, rebates for these people is 16,425 plus 9,000 rand, right? And that is 25,425. That is the rebates for these people. Now we're going to use the rebates to find what? To find the tax threshold. So we multiplied by 18. Now remember, we said if we're using the rebates to find the tax threshold, we must divide. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 25,000 rand and we are going to divide by 18%. So basically I'm dividing by 0.18. 0.18, yes. And that is 25,425 divided by 0.18, and that is 141,250 rands. I hope we are happy. Okay, so we're gonna do the last one. Whew. My goodness, I need to start exercising. I am so unfit. It's not even funny. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to prove that this amount doesn't pay tax, right? So this amount belongs to people who are 75 or older, and therefore the tax rebates for them will be everything. But let's start there. How do you calculate tax? How do you prove that this is actually does not pay tax? You calculate the tax itself and the answer will tell you. So tax here is equal to 157,900 times 18%. Okay, and how much do you get? You get 157,900 times 18% is 28,422 rands. That is the tax this person should be paying. But then we say everybody's getting a discount of 16,000 and you are also part of everybody, so we'll discount you that. And everyone who is from above 65 is getting a discount of 9,000. And then but say we wait, you are also above 75? we're going to discount you again with 2,997, and the answer will be 0. Right? So by looking at the answer, this person does not pay tax. Okay, now the question that says calculate the tax threshold itself, find the tax threshold by using calculations, and then we use the rebates to find that. Right? So we use the rebates to find that. And in order to do that, what do? We say, how much rebates does this person pay? This person actually will be discounted 16,425 and 9,000 rand and 2,997, and that will give us 28,422. This is the amount that person will get as rebates. So that will lower the tax. The 28,422 will be subtracted from their tax, and therefore it will lower the amount of money that they will pay. Fine. Then we say, okay, we're trying to find the tax threshold using this person's rebates, and therefore we are going to divide by 18%. Now, if we divide by 18%, we get 157,900. Now, one more thing. I find that examiners are always trying to be creative with the way they ask questions, because, trying to come up with new questions. And I was just wondering, if you have the tax threshold, can you find the rebates? Yes, you can. If you take 91,250, and if this is the actual tax threshold guaranteed, then you can multiply that by the percentage there in the row 1, which is in this case 18%, and then you will get 16,425, and there. That's the tax threshold. So if they say that's the rebates, if they say use the tax threshold to find the rebates, then right there, no questions asked. Like 141,250, 141,250 multiplied by 18% will give you the rebates for this person, which is 25,425. 25,425. That's just 16,425 plus 9,000, the rebates for a person this age. Also, the rebates for a person which earns 157,900, which is this age, and this tax threshold, multiply that by 18%, and you get the rebates for this person.